KTGR, the big show starts now.
You bet it does, and welcome into this Friday edition of the big show. It is March. It is so very March, especially in St. Louis this morning. Wow, Kentucky Santa Clara. If that was just the appetizer for what's to come the rest of the day at Enterprise Center, I can't wait to see the nightcap. And we know that the Missouri Tigers are going to be there for it, Andy. So today's the day. We can't wait any longer. Andy is on location, so I'm bringing us in. Who you got? We got to answer that question today, buddy.
We do. Are we sure that we want to have that type of madness for a game like this? We're sure about that?
I won't be able to take it a second time in one day, especially if Mizzou's involved. That's going to be. Yeah. But I take it. You know, if it means the result we're all looking for, I think I would take it. So get your thoughts into us. 573-875-KTGR. We need to know who they've got, Andy. That's going to be the name of the game today, because what are we? I guess in theory a little more than 5 hours away, but really it might be more than that, depending on the Queens Purdue overtime.
I mean, let's hope. Are we sure that we want that to go to overtime? I mean, we'd be entertained by it, but I don't know if we want that.
I think with Purdue a 25.5-point favorite, I would love to see overtime in that game, and maybe Queens winning it. I'll take on another 15 seed. I'm not scared. This ain't Princeton. Lots of tourney talk on the show today. We'll start right off the top with Mizzou, Miami. Let us know who you got by calling or texting us. And by the way, go to youtube.com/@KTGR Sports, and you can see the video I took from the floor of the two buzzer beaters that we saw. Really just the one buzzer beater, but back-to-back madness in that Kentucky-Santa Clara game. And we'll keep talking about the tournament throughout the show. We'll talk with Rob Veno at 4:25. We'll talk at 5:05 about the madness that continues to ensue before we wrap things up with our picks of the week, as we always do on Friday. But we've done enough of the preamble, so let's get right into this.
Now, the big show's big deal.
It's all about the Tigers, baby. I mean, Mizzou, Miami coming up tonight around 9:10 Central Time. We'll see about how delayed that game may be from Enterprise Center. But the Tigers, if you look at those point spreads, it's tightening. I think the Tigers are maybe a 1-point underdog. This is the game Mizzou needs, I think. This is the game that Dennis Gates needs to kind of put the stamp on the direction of the program. Things are moving in the right direction. I think there's a lot of signs that point to that being the case regardless of tonight's outcome. But to really definitively feel that punch, and I can tell you from being there this morning, it was a packed building. It had energy in it. Just wait until a bunch of those folks are clad in black and gold. I think it's going to be even crazier. So to be able to do it in front of a crowd that may not be a true home crowd, but it will be a Mizzou partial crowd if the ticket prices are any indication. Being able to get this one for Dennis Gates, for Mizzou, for the program, it would be big. And that is your big show's big deal on this 20th day of March. Yeah, it's March 2026, 875 KTGR. We need to hear from you. Score prediction on Mizzou, Miami. Who you got? Andy, wow, what a day of madness it's already been. And the Tigers are going to be the nightcap tonight. They are wrapping things up for the round of 64. And yeah, if it's anything similar to that 7-10 matchup we got between Kentucky and Santa Clara, I don't know what my emotions are going to be like about 6, 7, 8 hours from now.
That I don't know if it can be topped. I think that's the game of the tournament so far. First of all, driving in, I was listening to that. Shout out Nate Gatter.
Nate Gatter is so good.
Nate Gatter is awesome, and so glad that he is doing national radio for these games in his he's from St. Louis, so like he's I love the fact that he gets to call those for Westwood One.
I ran into him this morning walking in underneath the tunnel, and I was like, oh, of course he would be here. And I'm sure I'll be able to go back and listen to his call from having just been there live. I got to hear how they described it on the air, because he does an awesome job.
So good. Yeah, look, I mean, I would think that this game in particular is more likely to end up like if you switched it between Mizzou Miami is going to have that type of game. I wouldn't have been surprised like that, because that's the type that's what the point spread is dictating right now, that it is nip and tuck, and it might be that way the entire time. I think also like one of the largest lead of the game, like 7 for either side for Kentucky Santa Clara. That was the whole time. There was no separation really between those two. And look, I think that's what you need to expect for this game. However you feel about that, however you feel about Mizzou being in a game that they can't really extend out from their opponent in, and maybe they give up a run here that they're going to have to climb back. You got to expect that in these games. It's the nature of it. The fact that Mizzou just needs to just calm down in those moments where they know they're going to have the downswing, because they're going to be some. And the mark of a good team that deserves to advance in these types of situations are the ones that are able to get up quickly off the mat and not let too much time linger before they make their next run. And so Mizzou's capable of doing it against this team. It'll come down to within the margins, and they might be really slim in this game, how much Mizzou is able to at least get Mark Mitchell his shot, hit one or two different threes. Like that might be the difference right there, whether one or two threes drops from the outside. It all comes down to that in games like this.
Get us your thoughts on Mizzou Miami. We want your score prediction. Who you got for the game that will wrap up the round of 64 tonight in the STL? I would like that game to be the Mizzou game. As much as that sounds crazy because it was heart-stopping action, I think there's some advantages that Miami has that would terrify me a little bit about them going on a prolonged run, and it gets greater than a 7 or 8 or 9 point advantage for Miami. I don't want to see Mizzou get too far behind in this one. I honestly, what we need to see is them to start fast, because we've seen games where they haven't, and sometimes they're able to come back. They did it against Kentucky in the SEC tournament. They came back, but they couldn't climb the mountain at the end of it. I think about the home Tennessee game where they started very slow, but they were able to mount a charge, and they ended up being the better team in the second half to win that type of nip-tuck game. But I wanted to stay in that nip-tuck range, 2-3 possessions. If you get down, Dennis Gates has to have his finger on the pulse, call the timeout, be able to get his guys together, because this is an environment that's going to be pretty raucous. And if things aren't going Missouri's way, I think you're going to feel the nervous energy in the building a little bit if it should go that way in the first half. So kind of being able to be within yourself. We know that they didn't play well in this arena the last time we saw them at Enterprise Center. It was the Illinois game, and they just didn't play well in that game. I wonder, Andy, if that's going to be a factor that they can use to fuel them, or if it feels like a self-fulfilling prophecy of, these rims, these sight lines, like whatever way you want to attack it, can they come in with a mentality, which they've described it. I've heard Jacob Cruz say, we know we didn't play well in this building the last time out, and we want to avenge that. Whether or not they're able to do that and kind of take that to heart, I think is going to be a key in this, that like it won't show up in the X's and O's and in the box score, but you'll be able to feel it, I think, with the way that they come out in this game. Yep, we know what happened last time, but we mean business this time.
It's fascinating. You're going to need to rely on, I get a sinking feeling. It's not a sinking feeling, but it's kind of that sort of way that this game has to go in order for Mizzou to keep control of it. Yeah, sinking feeling wasn't the way to describe that. I just think it's Anthony Robinson that needs to step up.
Almost an air of inevitability, got to have him.
And look, there could be an emotional side to it. He's facing his high school teammate, and the fact that, he's been up and down this year. The fact that they went to T.O. Barrett has been kind of a revelation for this group and the reason why they are where they are. And so when you're in Robinson's spot, it would be hard for me. I know that Robinson's a better individual than I, so he's handled it a lot better. But the fact that you get unseated in that role that you thought was yours, now is the time though when you have to rely on some older players a lot of the time. And Robinson doesn't have a ton of experience in this tournament. He played last year. This is his third season. But the fact that he's the guy that has come up in big moments for them before, in moments like this, it just seems that they're going to need that. And you could get it from T.O. Barrett, no doubt. That could happen too. He could have a good game. I'm not saying he can't. And he's going to get the first chance to have that. But it's been way too volatile, Brendan. We've seen it.
Yeah.
We've seen it. So Anthony Robinson, I would predict has a chance to have a more steady game instead of going off, but maybe a steady game is what Mizzou needs from their backcourt or whoever their primary ball handler is in this game. because again, we talked about Miami's ability to create turnovers and how that can be a real weak spot for Mizzou in this game by the numbers. You need stability in the backcourt, and that is the area in which Anthony Robinson can step up. It's not scoring 15 for me.
No,
it's just taking care of business within the offense, operating it the way that it should be, being the point on the defensive side to be the first line of defense to try and steal the ball away and get pick sixes the other side. But like that's kind of what I'm looking for from Anthony Robinson here. And it's just, you need players like that are kind of older in your group to be just unsung heroes in games like this.
Yeah, like we know that Mark Mitchell is going to need to be a sung hero. We need to be able to sing about Mark Mitchell if Missouri's going to win this game. But like that's inevitable. We know that going in.
Yeah.
Everything else can kind of be pick and choose how this puzzle fits together. I think the guards are a key part of it. I don't think it's just Robinson. I think T.O. Barrett needs to be able to play his role. He can't come out of the gate like like he's just so overamped and overexcited and we get a little reckless with the passes. Like stay within yourself and allow there to be a little bit of a yin and yang between him and Robinson, where both of them can contribute, whether they're on the floor at the same time, whether, they're spelling one another as the primary ball handler. I think that's going to be important. Another player who, qualifies as an older player, but has not necessarily showcased the mental fortitude in the key moment when things are getting hot is Sean Phillips, that has got to stay within himself as well. Be a leader in the way of just avoiding the silly mistake. And that doesn't count like getting into foul trouble. We've talked about it earlier in the week. If he gets into foul trouble, as long as he's earning it and making the other team earn it, I think that ends up being just fine. I think this is going to be a pretty physical game. When you look at the couple of bigs that Miami has, Sean Phillips is going to be banging bodies underneath. And that's kind of part of the way that you draw this one up, but to make sure that nobody's getting anything free from you because you let your emotions maybe get the best of you. I think that's going to be another one of the keys. Like, we don't have an obvious answer for, well, who's going to be the secondary scorer? Who's going to be the guy that comes up big defensively? Like, we've got a couple of candidates in various areas of a matchup like this. But I think the answer is everybody has to kind of collectively come together and say, Mark Mitchell's our star. We get that. But everybody else has to kind of do their part and stay within what they do well, and they've got an assignment. They've got a job. They've got a task. And I think if guys like Anthony Robinson, my guy Sean Phillips, if those guys are able to execute in those spots, Andy, I do think this is the type of game that Missouri can have success in. But like, they're only going to play it once. We can go the entire week and break down the matchups and the X's and O's, and we can look at the KenPom, and we can look at the all of the data that's out there. But then the game's going to begin, and we're going to see what these players are made of. And I think for this year's team, we can look to next year and say, wow, excited for what could be down the line. But this feels like a big moment to kind of put a stamp on a year that was uneven. We weren't really sure what to expect at times of this season, but now that you're here, there's no better time to go ahead and do it in the month of March. Put all that, Dennis Gates, the record in the month of March, it hasn't been strong in recent years. They're going to play a game, Andy, and that's going to tell a tale about how we feel about this season, better or worse.
Yeah, it's the lasting impression, and that's really all that gets remembered a lot of the time. Even though you can go through this season and have some really high highs, it's all going to come to. I account it for like 20% of the final exam, or 20% of the final grade. This is the final exam. Whatever you do during these next 3 months, or not enough. 3 months. That'd be nice if March Madness lasted 3 months, though.
That'd be a lot of. My emotions are up here right now. Adrenaline. I don't think it's healthy to have adrenaline going for that long.
3 weeks. Let's remember that. But the fact that you now are in a spot, I think, even though you're a slight underdog to win a game, you at least need to see that, right? And look, obviously fans hope for more, but now that Mizzou is in this spot, the goal is just advance, man. We've seen too many teams that are better than this one, honestly, not advance. And this one is pretty clearly set up, I think, to do so, with all the circumstances surrounding their draw and things like that. So that's kind of the magnitude of this particular NCAA tournament opportunity that Mizzou has, it's a little bit different than the other ones. They were kind of the hunted in their last one. Now they're sort of like not really the afterthought, but sort of like either one of these teams is going to be losing to Purdue. I think that's what nationally people think. And they're like, we don't really care about this game. But as a Mizzou fan, I think you should, because it can still be proof of concept. And then you give yourself that shot against a top dog like Purdue. You got to give yourself shots in these tournaments. And Mizzou just time and again has not been able to do that. And so that's kind of left a sour taste in the mouth for Mizzou fans. With like, you go through all season thinking, yeah, I understand that all these great things are happening. You're beating Tennessee, you're beating Vandy, you're, last year, you're beating Kansas, you're beating Alabama. And then I can't really get on board with how things finish, because all of that seems to be for nothing that happened earlier in the year. So yeah, that's the part of it. Brendan, I'm going to go back to what you said about the madness part, whether this could be a mad game. It has a chance to, because both these teams, free throw shooting, it's an adventure, man. Both teams. So like, if you have a 5-point lead with 1:20 left,
either team
game is still, it's still a coin flip. Like that is because of how these teams have struggled to put away games, particularly at the free throw line. We've obviously seen that happen to Mizzou a couple of times. It hasn't burned them really for most of it, but we've seen the adventure happen a few times. And that's what could lead to the door being opened for whoever is behind very, very late, which is how we could create another one of these games that don't look exactly like Kentucky Santa Clara, but maybe a little bit similar.
Yeah, you can call or text us with your thoughts. Who you got? James texting in that he's got the Tigers 78-75, and the number to text is 573-875-5847. Yeah, I didn't realize that Mizzou and Miami are identical in free throw percentage. 68.6 for Mizzou, 68.5 for Miami. Although over their last 3 games, they're shooting 77%, and Mizzou has been below their season clip at just 65% in their last 3 games, which we know have not been wins for the Tigers. That's been when things have gone off the rail. Miami shot 93% in their last game. That's what I'm reading anyway.
That's really good. All right. Well,
maybe
they've snapped
around at the right time, but it needs to, they've got players that, and it is, I think when you get in an arena like this, it's going to be sold out. It's going to be jam-packed. Ticket prices, as of my earlier check today, hadn't really budged. I kind of want to look again to see if that has changed with the way the morning went. Over $200 just to get in. If you were, milling around and thinking you wanted to buy a ticket to see this session, just a couple $100, no big deal.
That's it. Wow.
I think it's easily more expensive than every other first round site today. I don't think there's anything that's really been in the neighborhood of what you'd have to pay to get into Enterprise Center. And look, I think it's the evidence is that a lot of Mizzou fans have paid it. I'm sure. I mean, they're not a ton of tickets even really to be available. We know it was sold out. Yeah, I'm looking $230, $250 if you decided on a Friday afternoon, hey, maybe I should go to that
Let's
game.
Go.
You still can. But it's going to cost you. But I think that's going to be an indication of like the Mizzou fans that are spending $200+ to put their butt in a seat are going to be there with one mission in mind, and that is to cheer their Tigers on to a victory. Like, there's going to be Purdue fans there. Don't get me wrong. If Purdue loses, then maybe it won't be quite the same atmosphere. Yeah. I don't know. I'll be very curious to see like the Mizzou game, how full the building will be, because it is the second game. So we'll kind of see. And I think a lot of basketball fans in St. Louis are looking forward to this one regardless. But I just cannot wait to get a glimpse at that arena and the way that it fills out, because the energy this morning was unmistakable. And I feel like we're going to get that again.
And not to look ahead too much, but like if you're thinking about Sunday, I think Otega Oweh added about $100 per ticket to what Sunday is going to be. Because like, I mean, if it had been Santa Clara, Big Blue Nation's heading straight out of here, and
Santa Clara had a lot of fans there. I can tell you this: it was a pretty good split. However,
sure,
Lexington is not that far from St. Louis to where the folks that weren't here today, they will be on Sunday. It's going to be a very blue crowd. I don't know how that would impact things when it comes to Mizzou. would Kentucky say, Mizzou's SEC, but we don't really hate them? Big Blue Nation will back the conference SEC against Purdue. I would be very curious to see what the Blue fans in attendance Sunday would think about Mizzou versus Purdue.
I mean, look, I don't know very many Kentucky fans, but I would think that the way that they would respond to it is, bleep everybody, especially in our conference. Like,
they love basketball. Those Blue fans are going to be there for both. I imagine right now, I'm not there obviously anymore, but the Iowa State game going on, I imagine a lot of those blue-clad fans stayed because they wanted to scout and see what their next opponent was going to be doing. It's going to be Iowa State in that matchup against Kentucky on Sunday. But, that's going to be a heck of an environment. Andy, we need Mizzou to be in the environment. Let's not waste any further time. Who you got? Give me your score prediction, and I'll give you mine with maybe a little bit of a caveat from what folks might have been expecting from me.
Well, look, again, it comes down to, like, it could almost be the difference between Trent Pierce being 2 of 4 from 3 and 1 of 4 from 3. Or Jaden Stone, kind of the same deal. Like, it just 1 or 2 threes dropping or not dropping could swing this one way or the other. I like Mizzou to have at least one, elongated run where they're going like 11-2 or 13-2, something like that. They're going to give one of those up also. I think in the end, though, Mizzou does find a couple of key buckets from Mitchell, or T.O. Barrett getting a direct pass from Mitchell from the paint, and he's streaking through, and he finds a lane to lay it in. Enough for Mizzou to win today, 79-75.
You like a little more scoring than I'm expecting. I was pretty convinced yesterday that when we got to this point, I would say, it's going to be a close game. Mizzou's going to fall a little bit short and give you a score where they lose by a couple points. And then I was at that game this morning, and I'm just like, come on, let's have a day. Let's have an all-time day in the city of St. Louis, right in your backyard. Figure out a way to make this happen. Mizzou's got a lot of talent. If Mizzou plays its A game, they're going to win. I don't know if they're going to play their A game. Maybe they can get by with their B game. There'll be some ups and downs. I'm feeling the adrenaline of the moment and gonna go back on what I usually do. No mind games here. Mizzou 71, Miami 67. Lower scoring, gritty type of game, ugly type of game at times. And we'll see if the Tigers can get the job done tonight. You can still keep letting us know your score predictions all throughout the show today. 573-875-KTGR. But we're going to take a quick break and hope to chat with Rob Veno of WagerTalk.com when we get back about all the madness that's been going on here in the month of March. Keep it right here, KTGR.
The Big Show with Andy and Brendan continues next on your total sports station, KTGR.
Okay, we now have Steve from Steve's Pest Control. We'll be addressing your questions on the spring invasion. Steve?
Hi, let's start with you, sir, in the third row.
Last year's fall invasion was terrifying for many families. How do you propose we deal with the invaders this spring?
Well, not to worry. First thing, just call us to Steve's Pest Control. We'll get you started on a 5-star Advantage plan.
Steve, is it true that the pests are becoming self-aware?
No, not really, no.
And that they're trying to enslave the entire human race?
That's fake news.
Steve, I'm over here, back corner. Steve.
But Steven, is it true that there could be hundreds of termites living underneath my home?
Honestly, it's more like millions. Folks, it's okay. All you have to do is calmly, quietly pick up your phone and call us to Steve's Pest Control. We're going to solve your pest problem and keep you protected. I guarantee it.
Now you got a friend in the pest control business. Steve's Pest Control.
Hi, it's Hillian Hart. This December, let's make some Christmas magic together in Europe.
Join us December 6th through the 14th for Colette's European Christmas Markets Tour.
We're heading to Prague, Dresden, Vienna, and Budapest.
Think holiday shopping, amazing food, and that once-in-a-lifetime Christmas feeling everywhere you go.
And since Colette takes care of the flights, hotels, meals, and local experiences,
you can focus on having fun.
Get the full trip details now. Go to 943kat.com.
We're trying to save people money. Go.
What if we cut sandwiches into thirds instead of halves?
We could stop buying warranties and just hope.
What about switching our toilet paper to half ply?
You.
It doesn't take a terrible think tank to save money. Just shop at Family Pawn. They've got jewelry, electronics, tools, and gifts for way less. No sacrifices, no half-ply TP. Ugh.
Not your traditional pawn shop. Family Pawn.
420 falls on a Monday this year. And yeah, you've got to work. So Shangri-La is celebrating early. Join us Saturday, April 18th at Lakeside Ashland for a free 21-plus consumption-friendly 420 party. Featuring live music from Mendo Dope with local support, brand activations, and your favorite cannabis brands all in one place. For more info, follow at Shangri-La Missouri on Instagram. Saturday, April 18th at Lakeside Ashland. Shangri-La Dispensaries is paradise found. ShangriLaDispensaries.com.
Hi, we're Midway Electric. And since you've got a nice large tax return this year, you've got the ability to put it towards something that lasts, like updating your bathroom with modern light fixtures or new kitchen lighting that pops. And Midway Electric is the team of pros you can trust to bring those dreams to life. From custom lighting to complete electrical upgrades, Midway Electric helps transform the spaces you use every day. Midway Electric, powered by people with pride. MidwayElectricInc.com.
Just like you, 1851 Underground Tap and Grill is excited about watching Mizzou hoop it up in March this year. So put on your black and gold, grab your brackets, and meet your friends at 1851 Underground. With daily drink specials and half-off select appetizers for happy hour, it's a perfect place to take in the tournament. They've also got great Saturday specials on Bloody Marys and mimosas. It's no secret, but it is underground. 1851 Underground Tap and Grill in the historic Brick District, downtown Fulton. 1851underground.com.
They can't shoot it straight on the golf course, but they can shoot straight on the biggest sports stories in mid-Missouri. Back to Andy and Brendan on The Big Show on KTGR.
We are back here on The Big Show, KTGR and the KTGR app. Andy and Brendan. Andy from a hotel in St. Louis. Brendan from his home in St. Louis. That's the way we do it here. Not to get too personal, Brendan, but I think this is the first time I've ever done the show without shoes on.
Yeah,
I feel very comfy in this hotel room.
It's not bad. I can say that from experience most days.
Yeah, I'm sure you get to do it a little more often. We're getting set for Mizzou and Miami in St. Louis tonight, and we'll be out there following it, and I'm sure following it and all the madness right now is Rob Veno of wagertalk.com for sports from a Vegas perspective. You can find him on Twitter at Rob Veno Sports. Go to wagertalk.com to see his great work. I believe Robbie is in Vegas right now as we speak. So that is the epicenter of days like this. Robbie, how are you? How is the madness in Vegas this year?
Yeah, well, it's come full circle, guys. Being somebody who lived here from 1991 to 2002 and actually came out twice in the late 80s for March Madness, I mean, it was always difficult to get a seat in one of these sports books during that time period. Obviously, those scenes are absolutely wild on every single shot. But nowadays, you don't get seats. You have to buy your way in just to sit down in one of these places. So it's definitely a little bit different. I like the way I do it right now. Tomorrow, I'm actually going to get involved and go down with some work colleagues from Wager Talk, and we'll witness the madness on Saturday. But it is kind of crazy. And obviously, March always they always fulfill what we're wanting, right? A couple of great endings so far, a couple of upsets. It's March. What can we say?
It is March, and it's providing across the board, it seems, in this tournament. Are we going to see more Marchness in this Mizzou-Miami game? I mean, the spread might dictate that is going to be the case. How do you kind of see it playing out, Robbie, between two teams that it is really hard to find an edge as to who might be better than their opponent tonight?
Yeah, madness, obviously, in terms of like a high point springing an upset. No, this is a game that's priced at 1 point. But madness in terms of, seeing a last second shot win the game, similar to, Kentucky was -3 this afternoon, and that ending with Santa Clara, the last 19 seconds was insane. You could maybe point toward that possibly happening in a game line this close. I think for each side, it's probably two teams that I would have liked to bet. But the matchup against one another, it's somewhat of a mirror type image. Miami is very similar to Mizzou. Mizzou very similar to Miami in what they like to do offensively and defensively. Jai Lucas, the head coach for Miami of Florida, has told anybody that would listen all season long about their philosophy being physicality. We're going to be a physical team. And they've lived up to it. Now, they benefited from a relatively soft ACC schedule, the way it's unbalanced. Miami didn't have to play a lot of the top teams inside the ACC. So, come conference tournament time, there's a lot of question about how good they really were. I think they've proven to be good. Mizzou, I think, has played a tougher schedule. We'll see if Mitchell can dominate down low here. And we'll see if Miami, if for a physical team, they're a pretty high scoring team. They do score points. They can get out in the open floor. Like I say, to go through these two fundamentally in the matchup, guys, they're very, very similar. Total here listed at 140. Well, it's down to 145.5 now. It's taken even a larger hit this afternoon, open 150.5. So I think, the money is expecting this to be more of a half-court sort of grinder style type game. I honestly don't have a good opinion either way, which is usually good for me because then I can sit back and just biasly root for Missouri in this game because I don't think I'll have a ticket on either side or the total.
Robbie, in terms of some of the other games going on yet tonight, there are some double-digit seeds that could be interesting. Do you have any of the big-time programs on upset alert yet to go this evening?
I think they all got beneficial matchups other than St. John's. Kansas, obviously, with Cal Baptist. For those who have never seen Dom Daniels, 5'10" point guard for Cal Baptist, tune in. It's worth the watch. Obviously, Kansas all season long. The Darren Peterson situation, people still talk about it heading into this game. I don't know that Darren Peterson is going to, you hear some drastic narratives. He's held the team hostage, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't know that he's going to hold the team hostage here, guys. NBA scouts have to see something out of this kid. AJ DeBansta, even in losing effort, showed you last night he's more than worthy of being the number one choice. I think Cam Boozer has shown that he could be the number one NBA choice. It's time. Darius Acuff now showing that it could be him. It's time for Darren Peterson in these games, however long Kansas lasts, to kind of show off a little bit. And they have huge edges in this contest. I mean, they're the bigger team. They're the faster team. Their guards have such height advantages over Cal Baptist. So, Cal Baptist has been a great team this season inside the WAC, but the competition level, as you guys know, not great. I don't think Kansas is in trouble. The Northern Iowa style, I know a lot of my colleagues feel that Northern Iowa can pose problems to St. John's, and they really just come from one side of the ledger, which is slow-paced. In fact, in Northern Iowa's case, I think they're like the second slowest tempo in the nation, and some good three-point shooting probably frustrates a team that would like the pace to be a little quicker in St. John's. But I think if you reverse that, guys, and say that Northern Iowa out of the Missouri Valley has never seen pressure-style defense like they're going to see tonight, and they could get rattled. So I could see the case for St. John's. I did play. I'll tell you guys now, I played the St. John's team total over 70.5. I do think they'll get to 71 in this case. They'll probably force enough turnovers. They'll probably speed the game up enough in spurts out of their press style. And I feel like St. John's is just a little bit underrated when it comes to their ability to shoot from the perimeter. They're not great, but they're not as bad as people make them out to be. And they're certainly not as bad as last year's squad was.
Rob Veno of WagerTalk.com is with us on the big show, KTGR and the KTGR app, as we get set for more madness this weekend. Robbie, I was thoroughly impressed by what St. Louis was able to do last night, and I'm sure just watching that game, people think, okay, yeah, Josh Schertz really got this team to rebound from bowing out of the A-10. Do you put any value into them going up against Michigan tomorrow in the early window? Like they played about as late as you could last night, and then they get the early game tomorrow in that same gym against the 1 seed. Do you see any value for another one of the semi-local teams around here, the Billikens, maybe going up against that big dog?
I'll say this, for those who are interested in playing totals, this particular venue, the KeyBank Center in Buffalo, New York, 4 games played there yesterday. All 4 games went over the total. Unders, you'll see a lot of data points where unders are generally the way to play in this first round, but not in this arena. Everybody went over. A lot of it's got to do with the list of teams that are there. But I would expect high scoring here, especially out of the Michigan side. St. Louis actually got a really good opponent last night in Georgia, a team that's susceptible to turnovers, a team that doesn't really work the glass very well. None of that is representative of what Michigan brings to the table. St. Louis, Robbie Avila is a great story, great player. Probably a spot for him in the NBA because of his basketball IQ and his abilities, shooting, passing, and all of that. But the front line here for Michigan is just insanely good and probably overwhelms St. Louis. We'll see if the Michigan defense can totally clamp St. Louis down. I wouldn't think so, just because the pace is going to be frenetic. Michigan's not going to back down from it. Josh Schertz's team will play it. Total here, guys, as I look real quick while we're talking, opened 158, bet up to 161.5. I wouldn't argue anybody off of playing that particular bet. I would maybe zero in more on the Michigan team total. They put up over 100 yesterday, and at this pace, potentially could do so again here. And then, the other side of that coin, guys, is if St. Louis comes out and just hits shots like Larry Hughes Jr. and instead they just go crazy, you wouldn't be surprised if St. Louis won the game as a 12.5-point underdog, simply because up until yesterday, Michigan hadn't been playing very, very well. And we're not going to take their result yesterday against that particular opponent as some kind of turning of the corner. So, again, I think fundamentally Michigan's got a lot of advantages, but you wouldn't be surprised if St. Louis was able to hang in and actually win that game.
Robbie, should we worry at all about Duke?
I think you should. I do think you should. First things first, the minutes that they had to play, no coach with a number 1 seed wants to have his starters go through taxing minutes in the first round game. I mean, that's just not, when you're almost a 30-point favorite, it's not supposed to be that hard. Your starters aren't supposed to have to work that hard. Playing 35 minutes in that game feels like playing 55 minutes in that game if you're Duke, because it was an uphill climb the whole way. And then you have the quick turnaround for Saturday, and add on to that the TCU guards are just like little hound dogs defensively. They get after it, and they're not going to give Duke anything easy. Duke's probably going to have to win this game on the interior, but TCU, when you go back and go through their season-long results, TCU has been in plenty of games with this type of competition. And I know the number 4 or the 4 number 1 seeds kind of have separation with the rest, but when you come from the Big 12 and you play the non-conference that TCU did, they're more than capable here. Jamie Dixon, a good coach. I think the points are really worth taking in that game, guys. We're looking at 11.5 right now with a total of 139.5. TCU is just that good defensively on the perimeter. Got to make Duke work for this one. We'll see.
Robbie, what free pick do you like out of anything that might be happening here over the next 24 hours or so?
Well, like I said earlier, I do like the St. John's team total, but I will say this. Where tomorrow's concerned, I think you could almost bank it that Arkansas and High Point go over the total. It's listed right now at 169.5. For those who didn't know about High Point, they were introduced to them yesterday. You have 3 kids on that team that were part of Power 4 schools and transferred out because they just weren't getting playing time. So it's not like this poor me High Point personnel, overwhelmed personnel-wise. It's not the case at all. And John Calipari's team offensively is playing as good as it gets right now. Hawaii is not an easy defense to go get, but Arkansas did have the ingredients to beat that Hawaii team, which doesn't really play any help defense. So for me, Arkansas can score at will, and their defense still isn't very good. I think High Point scores with them. So I think that I'll leave you guys with that for a best bet for the show. the High Point Arkansas game over 169.5.
Well, we saw how High Point can light it up yesterday, so that could be very much what happens tomorrow, even as they take on Arkansas. Great to hear from Rob Veno of WagerTalk.com during this quite busy time of year, I'm sure, for him. On Twitter at Rob Veno Sports, and go to WagerTalk.com to see their great stuff. Robbie, make sure you go find your way to a buffet in Vegas somewhere, and we'll talk again soon, my friend.
Always a pleasure, guys. Thanks for having me. I'll get with you next week.
Absolutely. Big show's on at 4:42. KTGR and the KTGR app. Those Vegas buffets, man, nothing like them. I mean,
that's crazy.
Golly. If you've not experienced that yet, first of all, experience Vegas at least once. And then make sure you go to a buffet, because that's where it's at. Even though it might be a little like it is all worth it. First of all, like it is worth whatever price you've got for it. And there are plenty to choose from, but yeah. And being there for the NCAA tournament is also pretty cool. So yeah, we'll see what happens. And if Mizzou is part of the real madness tonight, call or text us. Again, we want your score predictions. Text them to us, 573-875-KTGR. You'll hear coverage tonight beginning at 8:30. Just a reminder, just on radio, no streaming audio from our station, at least for the game. So just keep that in mind. You'll need a radio in order to listen, but you'll be able to listen starting at 8:30 tonight right here on KTGR. We've got a live local sports center coming up, and then under the bus to Brendan. I don't know if you saw this, if you clocked it right towards the end of regulation, but it seemed Santa Clara wanted a timeout.
I think they might have. There was a little craziness happening there for sure.
There was a lot, and the refs didn't see it. So we'll talk about that coming up next here on The Big Show.
Now, your local sports center update on your total sports station, KTGR.
Good afternoon. I'm Andy Humphrey. This Sports Center update is with Lee's Tire Company. If it's round and rubber, Lee's sells it. Go to leestirecompany.com. Mizzou men's basketball plays tonight at 9:10 approximately. It'll be after the conclusion of the Purdue-Queens game as Mizzou comes in on a 3-game losing streak against the Miami Hurricanes. This will be just the second time these two programs have met up before, and the last time was in the first round of the 02 tournament when Mizzou won that game, and that sparked a run to the Elite Eight for the Tigers. They're hoping for a similar fate in this one. Again, tip-off at approximately 9:10 p.m. You can hear it on KTGR with coverage beginning at 8:30. Mizzou women's basketball got a win in the WBIT last night, defeating Seton Hall 67-57. Grace Slaughter, 22 points. Mizzou moving on to the second round against the top seed in their region, BYU. They'll play that game Monday night at 8 p.m. as pregame coverage will begin at 7:45. Mizzou wrestling has a couple of wrestlers into at least the quarterfinal round, Aiden Sinclair and Cam Steed in their respective weights. Now your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast.
I'm tracking hot temperatures again tomorrow with highs in the upper 80s, more like our averages in summertime. We even broke records for our Friday with Columbia reaching the upper 80s. That is possible again tomorrow. By Sunday, we'll start to see a mild cool down with a cold front moving through. We stay dry, dropping to the 70s on Sunday, 50s and 60s on Tuesday, and staying warm the rest of the forecast. I'm meteorologist Nate Splater, and that's your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast on your total sports station, KTGR.
The madness.
Air to the rim for the flush.
Starts.
Robinson open three, launches. Bang!
Now.
Mitchell puts up a three-pointer. Good! And Missouri wins it.
It's the NCAA tournament. Join us Friday. The Tigers, the Hurricanes, live from the Enterprise Center in St. Louis. Our coverage begins at 8:30 on your home for Mizzou basketball. Mid-Missouri's total sports station, KTGR.
Hi, everyone. Andy Humphrey here for Lee's Tire Company. If you want the tire experts, if you want the largest selection, if you want a team that you can trust to take care of your vehicle, you get it all at Lee's Tire Company. That's where I go to take my car in. If I need new tires or service done, oil changes. They have 3 locations, 2 in Columbia and 1 in Centralia that you can go to check out yourself. And they do a great job, if you're in the market for new tires, of putting money back in your pocket. They run specials all the time. So this month you can save on Bridgestone tires, Firestone, Goodyear, so many more brands. You can get money back into your pocket if you buy sets of tires from Lee's Tire Company. So take advantage of that. Go see all the specials at leestirecompany.com. You can also browse their full selection so you can know exactly what type of tires that you want before you bring your car in. Go and check them out on the Business Loop in Columbia or at University Garage by the MU campus or in Centralia. If it's round and rubber, Lee's sells at leestirecompany.com.
The nominations are in. Now it's time to pick the winners. Now through April 12th, you'll decide the winners for Inside Columbia Magazine's Best of Columbia 2026. Vote up to once per day for the businesses and places you love, including best coffee, best auto repair, best brunch menu, or best dispensary. You can vote once per day, so come back and support the businesses you love most. Best of Columbia 2026 starts with you. Vote now through April 12th for your favorites at InsideColumbia.net.
From elegant weddings to corporate lunches with flavor and flair, Courtyard by Marriott Columbia brings the party and the pros. It's the home of Main Event Catering, and with every event, you'll get an award-winning chef, full banquet staff, and drop-and-go options for any size crowd. And the event center holds up to 300 guests with 8 flexible rooms. If you need help, there's a Marriott certified wedding coordinator on staff too. Book now by calling 573-443-8000.
My name is Matt. We used True Sun Exteriors for a pretty big siding project for our house. We used LP Smart Side. We did all new Pella windows, new fascia, new soffits, and they did a house wrap for us. True Sun was great. They communicated well. Whenever they got very large amounts of, say, the front and the side done, it was just awesome just to kind of see just the difference and what the house looked like. True Sun wasn't the cheapest. They weren't the most expensive. We did consider multiple options, but I think at the end of the day, I'd work with True Sun. It's good to see someone's proposal being so detailed and line itemed. You know, we're protecting our investment, and we love True Sun. We love Nevada and their whole team, and I'm confident that if we ever have any issues, they'll be there as soon as they can.
The difference between a house and a home is the attention to detail. At True Sun Exteriors and Interiors, we'll turn your vision of a dream home into a reality. For more information or a free estimate, go to TrueSunExteriors.com.
TrueSunExteriors.com. From the trainers to the coaches, the equipment managers to the players and fans, it takes a whole team to be truly successful. Hi, this is Sophie Cunningham, and if you're looking for the best team of jewelers in Columbia, it's Betts. Their staff has years of experience handcrafting jewelry, and when you combine that with the newest technology, it gives Betts Jewelers the ability to truly wow their customers. So talk to the team at your hometown jeweler today. Betts Jewelers in downtown Columbia.
These beautiful moments begin at Betts. Begin at Betts.
Tired of calling Andy and Brendan? So are their wives. Then shoot them a text right now. 573-875-KTGR and become part of the Big Show.
So, did Santa Clara want a timeout at the end of regulation there, Brendan? Right before that,
I have to defer. I have to defer to you because
it sure seemed that way. Watching the broadcast back, I wasn't able to watch during my drive, but then I saw a clip of it, and it sure seemed that what's his name, Herb Sendick, is that his name?
Sure. Sounds great. Yeah,
he was racing towards the official. Who I don't know if that. I think the official was trying to get to the other end of the floor, as he should. Like that's what he's trained to do. Needs to get back and be ready for the play on the other end. Santa Clara coach was trying to get a timeout there. He was making the signal right after they had gotten the go-ahead 3, and then Kentucky just raced in, got it to Oway, and he was able to bury the game-tying one. Crazy.
Yeah, and I think you could also, I'm trying to watch it in time. The ball's inbounded. There's at least a dribble before the clock starts running. I think OA would have got it off in time, but that's another issue that there's 2.4 seconds on the clock. Did it actually start right when he first touched the basketball? Would it have gotten off before the buzzer? Like,
yeah,
a little bit of controversy there, but I mean, what a moment ultimately. Like, yeah, did Santa Clara get hosed a little bit there? Yes. Was there a Santa Clara fan that was kind of nearby where I was standing that was berating me and anybody else who would listen for we should be ashamed that we work for the NCAA because they hosing my team? Yeah, there's one Santa Clara fan. It's understandable. I mean, it's understandable. I would be lashing out to anybody in the area if my team had a 3-pointer like that, looks like we're going to win, and then give up a half-court bank shot at the
man,
tie the game and go to overtime, and then we lose. Yeah, the guy wasn't happy. I feel for him and understand where he's coming from, because I think there were a few things that happened late there that Santa Clara fans would probably want to throw under the bus, and maybe rightfully so.
I mean, that's kind of I understand that sentiment right in the moment, but seriously, a fan just called you like a shill for the NCAA. Is that what happened?
I was standing next to some guys that looked official in suits, and so it was maybe just a comment directed toward everybody. But I was kind of standing there, and I didn't want to look him in the eye because he wasn't very far away from me. So I was kind of like, I just kind of smile and wave, boys, smile and wave. But I didn't correct him. I didn't say I actually don't work for the NCAA. I'm not a referee. I bet on Santa Clara. I'm sorry this happened to you. It happened to me too, in a way. I had Santa Clara in my bracket. I'm sorry. It didn't work out, but I wouldn't change it because it was a heck of a finish to get to see live.
Well, if you are Santa Clara, you probably want you probably want a redo of that, and you want the official to see your head coach wanting to have a referee's whistle there. As you can go ahead and honk.
There it is. There it is.
So, but yeah, they should feel irked right towards the very end there.
Here's another one for you.
Yeah.
Under the bus, yesterday, things were looking really, really strong for a number of contenders from the Southeastern Conference. Under the bus to Georgia because you were frauds all along, baby.
Wow.
I said it all year.
Go ahead and honk it. Go ahead and honk it, Drake. Go ahead.
St. Louis Billikens. I think my tweet after the bracket came out was that they would roundhouse Georgia, and it was a roundhouse kick to the head last night. St. Louis putting up over 100 points. Georgia, where were you? I mean, they just kept turning it over and turning it over and turning it over. Georgia was a fraud all along, and I feel kind of vindicated for having that stance throughout the season.
What was it, 18-0 run to start the second half, something like that?
I'm serious. Every time they went down the court, they threw it to the other team, and then SLU came down and scored. It was like 8 or 9 times in a row, so 18-0 might have been the run there. I'm not 100% sure on the accuracy about it, but it felt that way for sure.
That's at least as far as I saw it go, without watching the actual game. Like, I was seeing it on the side and the live score there. But yeah, no, Georgia for sure. That's another one. And also under the bus to Ohio State, Jalen Rose throwing some shade as he of course is a Michigan grad, was part of the Fab Five.
Right.
And had to throw in a little dig towards Ohio State, saying essentially, I guess they're the second best team in their state now. I suppose now we have to call it the Miami University. Oh, that was well done. Well done, Jalen. Anytime that you can badmouth Ohio State and then prop up Miami, Ohio in the process, that's well done.
Yeah, that's a pretty good move. And you get your licks in when you can, for sure.
And Jalen Rose, like, he gets that, and then he gets his team as a 1 seed. Like, that's not bad. So go ahead and honk the horn on Ohio State as well, and that's the bus. I mean, it's
my bracket yesterday. Ohio State really burned me. Didn't like that. Not a fan of that.
All right, we can go next. So I love moments like this when coaches bring in they shout out student reporters, especially around this time of year, and that's what VCU's coach did yesterday. Phil Martelli shouted out the VCU student journalists, I assume for their school's paper, following the school all year, even traveling to road games, including the St. Louis one that VCU had not too long ago that we very much remember. But had really nice words for them. And I believe Phil Martelli when he talks up how well those student journalists have done all year. So kudos to them and kudos to Coach for pointing that out, because that is meaningful.
Yeah, and a lot of times that's the kind of stuff that doesn't really get talked about or brought up. But I think it's cool when a coach has that awareness to be able to show yes, we're not just sucked into our own little world, our own little bubble of what collegiate athletics is. You see the people around you, and that's a coach who I think clearly does and gets it. So that's cool anytime we hear those little shout outs, I think.
Yeah. So VCU, do I have them in my bracket against Illinois? I don't think I do. You do, or you don't?
Winning again?
Oh, winning again. That's what I was wondering. No. Okay.
I do not have them winning again. I have Illinois in the Final Four. So let's put it to them. All right. VCU, you had your fun. Now it's time for my bracket to continue to thrive. Okay.
Coming up, more tourney thoughts, and then we'll have our picks of the week at 5:45. You're on the Big Show.
Hey, construction dude, congrats on the killer contract in Cape. Sweet. So, how are you going to get that Mongo crane down to the job site? Here's a haul of an idea. Just Google I-70 Towing. They're Mid-Missouri's go-to crew for heavy equipment hauling, too. Semis, dozers, RVs, goosenecks, farm and construction stuff, school buses, boats, bring it. If you use it, they can move it. Call the team they think you'll really love to meet. I70towing.com. Goosenecks. Give me some long necks.
In sports, there are bad calls, like wolfing down walking tacos before 9 a.m. warm-ups, discussing NIL deals with your 8U travel team, or trusting the mom who spells lose with 2 O's to order team jerseys. Yay, go Tigres. Here's a good call. Shopping at Play It Again Sports for baseball and softball season. Play It Again Sports. Think of them first, so you don't finish last. Play It Again Sports, ColumbiaMo.com. Extra savings, not extra letters.
Whoops.
What happens when a chef, 2 pharmacists, and a financial analyst walk into a bar? They buy it. And then they tell people from all walks of life to come enjoy it with them. Big flavors, bigger burgers, local brews, handcrafted drinks, and a game of pool or two. See, billiards was built by people like you. A teacher, a receptionist, and a cashier walk into billiards. What happens next is up to you.
Looking on down for burgers and beer. Billiards on Broadway.
Call your shot at billiardsonbroadway.com.
Hi, it's Hilly and Hard. This December, let's make some Christmas magic together in Europe.
Join us December 6th through the 14th for Colette's European Christmas Markets Tour.
We're heading to Prague, Dresden, Vienna, and Budapest.
Think holiday shopping, amazing food, and that once-in-a-lifetime Christmas feeling everywhere you go.
And since Colette takes care of the flights, hotels, meals, and local experiences,
you can focus on having fun.
Get the full trip details now. Go to 943kat.com.
KTGR AM Columbia, KTGR FM Fulton Columbia, K286CL Columbia, Mid-Missouri's total sports station. KTGR.
Again, 2 games are finishing up the first half of today's NCAA tournament schedule. Miami of Ohio's run appears to be coming to an end. Second half, they trail Tennessee 58-36 in an 8-9 matchup. Just over 8 minutes of play, Utah State and Villanova are tied at 65. Earlier, Iowa State beat Tennessee State 108-74. However, forward Joshua Jefferson suffered an ankle injury. He later returned on crutches on the sidelines with a boot on his left ankle. Kentucky beat Santa Clara in overtime 89-84. Meanwhile, Alabama got off to a cold start, but eventually came away with a win over Hofstra.
Return to Philo. He's got 26. On his way to a double-double, perhaps a triple. Stepping back for 3. Contested made. Over the 7-foot big. 77-66. Cole, love it.
John Sadak with the call on Westwood One and the CBS and the NCAA Radio Network. Also, Virginia, Texas Tech, Arizona advancing Duke coach John Shire says he is hopeful Patrick Gongbo will play in Duke's second-round game against TCU. Scott Cross, former Troy coach, now the new head coach at Georgia Tech.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
From Faro, 15 to the 10, to the house. Bush, back to the wall, and it's got her. And Arrowhead. Touchdown! Kansas City! To your speakers. This is the big show, baby. Get fresh takes on the biggest sports stories in mid-Missouri. Right now, this is the Big Show with Andy and Brendan on KTGR.
Well, we're still reacting now to the madness that is ensuing here in the month of March. Andy and Brendan here with you. Andy from a hotel in St. Louis. He'll be down at Enterprise Center tonight. Tigers taking on the Hurricanes. I know the matchup with the mascots is probably a little bit scary if the strongest force of nature wins, as we talked about a couple of weeks ago. I didn't know we'd be playing Miami in the first round when we had that conversation, but hopefully it doesn't go that way. Hopefully they decide it with their talents on the basketball court. But Andy will be there. I will be there as a fan. Excited about that. I can share a little bit of detail about how we're trying to pull that off today because the 3-year-old's coming too. That'll be a lot of fun. But let us know your early tournament thoughts on what we saw last night, what we saw throughout the day so far today, and all the fun that could be yet to come. You could call or text us 573-875-KTGR. And before we get out of here on today's show, we will be doing our picks of the week, where I think I'm still in the lead pretty safely, but we'll check back in with that before we wrap up and get you set for all the things to come later on tonight. 573-875-KTGR. You can call us, you can text us, but first, it's 5 o'clock.
It's time for the Top 5 at 5 on The Big Show. Number 1.
If you want to trade away for curtain number 1, you can have curtain 1.
It all comes down really to tonight. I think from Mizzou's purposes, it's important for them to at least get just one win here as Mizzou takes on Miami in the 10-7 matchup, West Region NCAA tournament. Late tip-off, 9:10 p.m. approximately, but let's be honest, it's probably going to be closer to 9:20, 9:30. You can hear it on KTGR radio. It's going to come down to very slim margins, like maybe a three-pointer one way or the other. Does Mark Mitchell outscore Malik Renault? Whatever it might be, it all comes down to margins. I think Anthony Robinson going to be crucial in this one, just as a steady presence in the backcourt, preventing turnovers. That's going to be huge. I think Mizzou pulls it out by 4, but it is not going to be an easy close in a game like this.
Number 2.
Number 2, your timing is impeccable.
And boy, have we seen some madness already. Of course, we saw High Point last night get it done in what was an excellent finish to that game against Wisconsin. Today, Brendan saw it. He saw Kentucky's Otega Owe tie the game with 2.2 seconds left, or really his time expired. He had 2.2 to get the shot up from 3 right after Santa Clara hit a go-ahead 3, and then Kentucky goes on to win in overtime. I mean, if we see that type of madness going forward, then maybe Mizzou and Miami, it's going to rub off of them in the final game in St. Louis tonight.
Number 3.
So Mizzou women's basketball is still alive as well. Tigers did well defensively, holding Seton Hall under 30% shooting on the road last night to a 67-57 victory in the WBIT. So now the Tigers will move on to face BYU on the road. BYU was the first team out of the NCAA tournament field, so a good test for Mizzou to try and keep their season going. And if they win that game, bracket opens up for them reaching the quarterfinals to potentially make a further run and try to win that whole thing.
Number 4.
Oh, shanked it. Keep an eye on Mizzou wrestling, too. Lots going on. Cam Steed going to be an All-American. He just made the semifinals in his weight class, 174. Aiden Sinclair's got a real chance to win his weight class at 184. NCAA Wrestling Championships happening in Cleveland right now. We'll keep an eye on it.
Number 5.
What is the 5 fingers? Say to the face.
My hotel is a mile away from Enterprise Center, over or under $35 from here for an
That's the Big Show's Top 5 at 5 on KTGR.
What do we think?
875 KTGR.
What do we think?
Texas. It's nice and toasty out there today.
It is.
It's warm.
It's warm, and it's.
What are you wearing to the game?
It's like not this.
Okay.
I'll look a little more professional, but
You got a KTG for our YouTube audience. They can see.
Yeah, the
Andy's in the
KTGR
KTGR
t-shirts.
t-shirt.
By the way, everyone that sent in their brackets, the t-shirts are being settled. You will get them. They will be
that t-shirt. Is that the one? Are you modeling it today,
This is actually an older one. This has,
Okay.
you'll have a newer and improved t-shirt if you're one of the folks who sent in the handwritten brackets on the KTGR app. No, I will be wearing shoes. First of all, that's not what I'm doing right
that's
now.
one change.
So that's something there. But no, like my hotel is just other side of 64, and so.
Not to dox you or anything.
I probably won't walk there. So like I was just checking out Uber prices, and like it's only a mile away, but busy time of day.
Yeah.
And it's a little toasty, and there's a lot of people here. 35 seems like the number to set it at.
Okay. I mean, I'm coming that way, but it'll be a little bit. So
well, yeah, no, I mean, sure.
You might want to get in the arena before I get there, but I would say the danger zone of walking it plus a mile probably not worth it. So I think you'll be pleasantly surprised by the Uber price. I'll take under 35.
Okay. All right.
I think it'll be okay. Whatever. And you know what? You download a couple of rideshare apps and you maybe find one that pit them against each other for your services. I'm not sure. Like, I don't know if this event will be on the radar quite of something like that, or if it would be, and they're going to be like, yeah, we're camped out, shuttling people from the arena or to the arena. Maybe I would try a couple different things. I would try to plug in and like plug a couple blocks away from the arena as the destination. So they're like, oh, he's just going to get dinner. He's not, you won't trip up whatever like signals they have to say, oh, he's going to this big event that we're going to do a surcharge for. That's where you got to think about it outside the box. I didn't get a parking ticket today. I went parked at a meter, and I was like, you can only park at these meters for 2 hours. I'm going to try to set a reminder on my phone, but I got busy and I forgot. And I was like, oh no, I didn't reset my parking meter, but I walked back to my car after and I was in the clear. So it was worth it. It was good.
Interesting. Well, I mean, I think, I was trying to figure out how it was all going to shake out logistically. And I mean, I'll say this, maybe after the game at like, I don't know, 1 a.m. or so.
This could be late.
Yeah. I don't know what the prices will be on that, but I know that I'm taking one. I
look
will
out
be
for the teenagers that, if you decide to walk it, look out for the teenagers that have around with pellet guns.
Yeah.
Down there, or drive around. That happened to me once. That
wasn't fun. That was not great.
Luckily, it was just like a little water BB, so it didn't actually hurt me, but that was a scary one. You probably want to feel that way. Don't do what I do. Just get in a car after the game tonight for sure. One that will hopefully be a win. I mean, one that'll hopefully be good news for Mizzou fans. And you can keep letting us know your score predictions for this game. 573-875 KTGR. I predicted a win, Andy. I don't really know how confident I am, though. But I feel like this is like that moment where, come on, the game's going to happen. You got to go in with a positive mindset and let the chips fall where they may. So I predicted a win. Andy predicted a win. I hope Mizzou gets a win. I got to tell you something, though. When it comes to kind of taking in the environment of March Madness and everything that we've been able to see and hear so far, I got to tell you a story about Kentucky fans heckling Kentucky AD Mitch Barnhart. This was at halftime. I don't remember the halftime score, but it was a close game. The whole game between Kentucky and Santa Clara was close. Kentucky players go off the floor. Mark Pope is coming off the floor. And I think I hear it from over in like the Kentucky booster section, maybe even. Like, I don't know if these are folks that like really got it like that, to be able to sit that close. But they shout out in the direction of the current athletic director Mitch Barnhart, who's retiring, but I think he's getting some kind of cush gig in the athletic department or something where they announced his salary is going to be like $950,000 a year or something like that in the new contract he's signing. And I don't know what the history is. I don't know if this fan is prominent or if he knows the AD or if he's just a random guy. But he shouted out and said, "Hey, Mitch, how's that 900,000?" And Mitch Barnhart turned around and was trying to figure out who said it, and stopped in his tracks on the way to the tunnel. I think found the guy that said it from a distance, made eye contact with him, and he asked him if he would care to say that to his face. And then the fan, I believe, was kind of giving it back to him and said that he would do so at the hotel, the team hotel later. So that was all before, the heroics happened between Kentucky and Santa Clara, and Kentucky wins. Coming off the floor after the game, Mitch Barnhart said, "Well, now they're cheering." So he was a little feisty today. That's all happened. I was upset I didn't have the camera rolling for some of that, but it was intense, and that's just, I think, Big Blue Nation for you. But
I mean, well, yeah,
the way that it's been.
I mean, do you kind of side a little bit with Mitch Barnhart on that, just because that's the fan base he has to deal with, or does he ask for that by having that job?
Yeah, and I don't really know. Like, I'm not locked in on Kentucky athletics. I mean, he let Calipari get away, but there was maybe not anything he could have done about that. Their football team has not gone well, right? They were going to lose Stoops to A&M there for a minute, and then got him to stay through whatever means. I don't know if that was A&M's choice or Kentucky's choice, but
it was very
I don't know.
Weird. Like, it
was weird.
It was so weird, whether it was real or not. I don't even care. I still think they got Mark Stoops. Again, have we ever seen Mike Elko and Mark Stoops in the same room together? I don't know. I really don't know.
Surely those teams have played. Did they not play each other?
No, not last year, I don't think. And I think they were different days on SEC Media Days. There was even that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Still going to go with that conspiracy theory. I don't believe in a lot of conspiracies, but that's one that I do believe in. Let's get to the bottom of that. This tournament brings out such weird, fantastic things.
Yeah,
and
I saw
interactions
both
like
sides
that.
this morning. The Santa Clara fan who thought I was an NCAA representative, and he was very unhappy that the way I was reffing that game for his team.
Yeah,
I had them in my bracket. And then this Kentucky fan that was giving it to the AD, who's outgoing, but apparently, I mean, it'd be nice to be like in the trenches, athletic director, like you said. You got to deal with these fans where we know that Kentucky fans are just one of a kind, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you retire from that job, but you get like a cush $1 million salary for the job you're doing next, which is probably a lot more low stress. So I don't know. The fan thought that maybe they needed to be using that money toward NIL for football, perhaps, and decided to let them know.
Is that a? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that like a Michael Gersh type thing? Like, send him to a different role? Does he maybe get more money? I don't know if he got more money or not.
I don't know what he was paid before.
It's the title definitely changed. I don't know if it was a better title or a worse title, based off of how they did that transition with the Cardinals. But like that, we do kind of see that across not even just college sports, but almost sports in general sometimes, even with some of those other franchises, but college sports in particular, because you can also move them to like other administrative roles in the university, and then they camp out.
Yeah, his role is executive in residence. I don't know what that means, but his role, here are the bullet points on his role, according to KSR. Jointly report to the president and provost of the university. Serve as the executive in residence for UK Sport and Workforce Initiative, a transdisciplinary and collaborative approach to the study and promotion of sports. And he's supposed to work collaboratively with the other leaders.
Okay. Gotcha.
He's also supposed to devote time, attention, and abilities to other duties as assigned, but he's also supposed to faithfully serve the university. So I think you might be onto something that's just kind of a cush reassignment where they're like, let's maybe, let's move forward as an entity here, and we're going to get somebody else in here.
It's almost like we need that written into our job descriptions, and then we get like a bunch of money for that. Wow.
the scale of it as well. Like, all I have to do is work collaboratively for $950K. I'm in, baby.
Sign me up.
I'll collaborate with you. What are we going to collaborate on?
Group project.
I'll walk in there. I'll do some group projects.
Yeah.
I guess
Got a lot of experience with group projects.
And I'm telling you, Kentucky fans weren't so sure about that. What's standing out to you so far from March Madness? I've tried to limit my gushing over the SLU Billikens to this point, but that was truly impossible what happened last night against Georgia.
Yeah. I mean, I was looking forward to just being entertained by that game.
I thought it was going to be a back and forth grudge match, man.
Yeah, and I think I had Georgia in my bracket. I thought that they were playing a little bit better heading into it. I was a little spooked by St. Louis down the stretch, honestly. Like the way that they kind of finished, not even just in the conference tournament, but just, even in games that they won, not necessarily putting teams away that they really should, and making a huge stamp. So that kind of leaned it more towards the Georgia side to me. But yeah, when you hit shots, when you turn the other team over as much as they did, and very clearly there was a difference in want to. I'm not saying that Georgia didn't want to be there, but they were kind of going through
the energy for SLU was insane.
SLU was a lot more happy to be there, and sometimes that rubs off on how you play in the game and how you execute. And so that's just how it played out for the Billikens. I don't know if they'll beat Michigan. I want them to. That'd be nice. I like Robbie saying that he likes the points there. At least, try them out and see if they'll get you some value. But yeah, the way that St. Louis played to start out this tournament is what we all hoped they would do when they get this chance, because they don't get this chance a whole lot. Being an at-large from their conference is an impressive thing. And so they treated it as if they belonged, because the committee said that they did.
Yeah, I feel like, and I already put a little on SLU for Sunday, or for Saturday, excuse me, just because I'm feeling the vibes after last night. And I wasn't really very confident that they would win last night, but I was like, you know what? Let's put them in our bracket. Let's place a friendly bet on them and see what happens. And they got the win. So now I'm trying to roll that into tonight in the way to feel about Mizzou. But it was occurring to me last night, watching the game and kind of watching the way that the folks I interact with on Twitter were taking in the game on social media. A lot of Mizzou fans, obviously, but I'm from St. Louis. I got a lot of people who are crossover, Mizzou and St. Louis. So there's some SLU fans who hate Mizzou and some Mizzou fans who hate SLU, but there's a lot who I cheer for both. I want both to do well. Mm-hmm. And there was one tweet with a clip from The Bear, the show about high-end food and chefs and stuff like that, where the kitchen can be a very intense place back there.
Mm-hmm.
And they said this, when I watch SLU, I think, wow, what a nice, team that everybody can score and everybody's kind of doing this. And when I watch Mizzou, and then he posts the video of, the character from the show just going crazy, yelling at people in the kitchen. And I'm like, that's how I feel. And I don't know if it's entirely my fault, if it's entirely Mizzou's fault, or if it's just the way that it is. But I decided that last night, SLU basketball is my healthiest fandom that I have. It's my healthiest one, because if they had lost that game last night, I would have said, gosh, that really stinks. I wish they would have won. But I don't think I would have been like a puddle on the floor like I'll be tonight if Mizzou was. So it's it's a very refreshing kind of deal that I had last night, and it's not going to be the same tonight. It just isn't. If you need to know where my heart lies, I talk about SLU a lot because it's kind of a joke on the show now. But if you need to know where my loyalties are, I'm like a nervous wreck right now leading up to this game, which is about 4 hours away as we sit here talking to you.
That sounds like you need that in your life. You need the SLU Billikens, Brendan. You every so often you need to pull up highlights, and when the Cardinals are 20 games under 500 in August, you just gotta pull them up and say what I say?
It's not so fair.
That's you need to pick me up. You need to pick. Or Mizzou's trailing by 20 to Georgia football. And,
if Mizzou loses this game, not even a SLU highlight's going to save me. I'll just lean on the kid because he'll have good spirits about it. He's going to be with me tonight.
Yeah.
I am not 100% sure that the nap at school happened today. I tried to impress upon him how important it would be because the game is 9:10 and probably later than that to start. So when I get done with the show, I'm going to see what kind of mood he's in, and hopefully he's chipper and ready to rock and roll and not ready to fall asleep. Because if that's true, I'm in for a long night. But we were watching the selection show together, and when it popped up St. Louis, I'm like, you want to go? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, well, I'll figure out a way to make that happen.
Yeah.
$500 later, we're going, baby. Because those tickets, they just never did drop in price. But
no, they did not.
We got some good seats, and we're in, and I got to cover a game this morning, and tonight I'll be there. I'll be wearing gold, so it'll be a good time.
Purdue, just don't make any nonsense out of this. Let's wrap this up in the sense of.
Wouldn't you love to see? Wouldn't you love to be like hunkering down for the Mizzou game and seeing like a 15-2 if it's possible? I don't think it is.
No, I wouldn't actually. Not in this case. Let me see a different 15-2. How many 15-2s are left?
Are you afraid of Queens? From
no,
Mizzou?
It's not that. It's again body clocks here. I am worried about that.
You're the old man yelling at the clock.
Yes, I am. 9:10 p.m. That's way too late. NCAA tournament. Fix this. We can play at 9 a.m. to get these games in. That's fine. We're all settled in at work anyway, and we're trying to, get everything done before we have no productivity the rest of the day. What's another hour or two to start the tournament a little bit sooner? Come on. We can all come together as a country and petition for this. That's what I want to see.
I feel like it's already a little bit of a nightmare when it comes to the scheduling of these games and like what time zone are you in relative to where the fan base of the team is. Like take tonight's game, for example. Miami fans will be watching this game at 10:10 local time when it tips off if it starts on time. That's kind of crazy to me. And then you have tomorrow, Michigan and St. Louis is the first game of the day in Buffalo, which is like, I don't know, maybe that helps a little bit because it's at least noon instead of like 11 in the morning, like it's going to be for Central Time. But SLU was like one of the last teams playing last night, and they're getting the earliest game tomorrow, which is weird. But I also think, I wonder how that came together. If CBS was like watching SLU play Georgia and going, we got to get the standalone window for Michigan, and SLU might give them a game. Let's put it like, I wonder how that came together.
Like, did they want to do that over TCU Duke or one of the other teams? Like, it does matter what the second game in that session is, and I think they get the most star power with also Michigan State following, because like they play a full session in that early afternoon window, and then the next three sessions start after that. So like I think Michigan State also factors in a little bit to it. We want to have that game kind of stand alone too. Again, when they're playing Louisville, that's a monster matchup.
That's going to be a good one.
Bury later on in the day when there are other games going on. So I think that kind of played into it. Yeah, that's unfortunate for St. Louis. But turn around, see if you can turn it into a positive all of a sudden, and see if you can catch Michigan napping. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. And you know what? Maybe Miami will be napping tonight. They'll be so tired. It's so late at night. They just don't play their best, and Mizzou's able to take it to them. Would you take that? I would take it. We'll keep talking about Mizzou, Miami. We'll keep talking about all the things of this NCAA basketball tournament. And we're going to maybe predict a couple of upsets. I want to know from Andy, and I'll give mine as well. Is there a chance that there's another one brewing tonight? I don't count 10/7. Mizzou's going to upset Miami. We know that, but that's a 1-point spread. Can we get another crazy one before we get out of the first round? You can let us know with your thoughts on that, 573-875-KTGR. We'll take a break and come back and answer our favorite upset picks coming up. It's The Big Show, KTGR.
Follow The Big Show on Facebook, X, Instagram, and YouTube. And keep it here on your total sports station, KTGR.
You've seen the trucks. You've heard the name, but there still seems to be some confusion. So let's settle this once and for all. Yes, Steve from Steve's Pest Control is a real guy. Okay, sure. I'll believe in Steve when I see a termite riding a unicorn. Time to squash those rumors, like Steve squashes spiders. Steve's Pest Control isn't some big corporate chain, and they're not some call center based in the land of make-believe. Steve's Pest Control is a locally owned, family-operated company. From ants to termites, bedbugs to wasps, Steve's crew handles it all with precision and a dash of Midwestern charm.
Hi, I'm Steve with Steve's Pest Control.
There it is, proof of Steve's existence. So don't waste your time calling the not-so-local guys and call your friends at Steve's Pest Control. Local, legendary, and 100% real.
We're going to solve your pest problem. I guarantee it.
Now you got a friend in the pest control business. Steve's Pest Control.
Your foresight is so good, you can practically see into the future. But fortune telling isn't the career path you want to take. Instead of predicting people's futures, you can help build them at Fuse 32. Because you recognize things before they can even become problems. You love the thrill of success and getting paid for it. All that's left to do now is look into that crystal ball and see yourself on the sales team at Fuse 32. There's nothing we can't do. Apply now at Fuse32.com.
We're trying to save people money. Go.
What if we cut sandwiches into thirds instead of halves?
We could stop buying warranties and just hope.
What about switching our toilet paper to half ply?
You.
It doesn't take a terrible think tank to save money. Just shop at Family Pawn. They've got jewelry, electronics, tools, and gifts for way less. No sacrifices, no half-ply TP.
Not your traditional pawn shop. Family Pawn.
Now through March 31st at Clark Warehouse Tire and Auto, get up to $180 back on a Bridgestone prepaid MasterCard. Get up to $80 back when you purchase 4 eligible Bridgestone tires, plus up to an extra $100 back when you use your CFNA credit card. Upgrade your ride and save big today at any Clark Warehouse Tire and Auto location. Subject to credit approval, restrictions apply. Visit BridgestoneRewards.com for details.
Clark Warehouse Tire and Auto, keeping Missouri rolling since 1949.
Farming comes with pride and pressure. Long days, unpredictable weather, rising costs, and worries that don't quit. You don't have to carry that stress alone. Talking helps. Show Me Strong Farm Families offers free, confidential telehealth counseling with professionals who understand agriculture. Search Show Me Strong Farm Families and take the first step. Call 573-882-4677 because talking helps. Brought to you by University of Missouri Extension.
When it comes to tree care, knowledge matters. And Advanced Tree Solutions doesn't just cut, they care. Educate, communicate, and protect the health of your trees. Whether for homeowners associations, golf courses, apartment complexes, you name it. And it's one less thing to worry about. With expert service and yearly discounts, your business and your trees are in good hands. Call Eric at Advanced Tree Solutions today. Advanced Tree Solutions, your tree's best friend. AdvancedTreeSolutionsLLC.com.
If it's Mizzou sports, it's happening here. Now, back to the big show on KTGR.
So we're getting set for Mizzou and Miami a little bit later on. It's going to feel a lot of bit over the next few hours or so here on the big show, KTGR and the KTGR app. Andy and Brendan here. Why don't we do this? Over or under 9:15? Later or sooner?
9:10 is the official supposed start. I'm taking the over for sure. It'll be later than 9.
Later. Okay.
It wouldn't take much at all for that to be the case, right? Like just a little bit of a longer game for Purdue.
Like I think Purdue's going to win by a lot. There won't be a lot of late game stuff. I worry about an unnecessary review of a flagrant foul or two.
Just something at the end that everybody's thinking the same thing.
Yeah. Like, what are we doing here? Have we checked to see if Pat Adams is
I don't know who the refs are going to be.
I don't know.
Oh.
Do not know. But
I don't know. That's always so hard to find.
Yeah, I couldn't. Maybe I can see if he's worked a game already in the tournament, and maybe he's in a different city, so that he wouldn't probably be So work backwards a little bit. I'll work on that for a second. But a couple of notes while the basketball is good. This is a crazy busy weekend. There is so much happening, not just the basketball. Mizzou women's hoops obviously advancing to WBIT. Brendan, I'm serious. Like, if they beat BYU on Monday, they're in the quarterfinals and they've knocked out the one in their region. Like, who knows after that point? Once you get past that hurdle, they looked really good defensively last night. So we'll see how that looks for them. I'm trying to decipher the updates from the NCAA wrestling championships here. I think, unfortunately, Aiden Sinclair lost his most recent match before getting to the semifinal round. He was the 2 seed in his bracket, and so it looks like he'll be in the wrestlebacks. But congrats to Cam Steed. He's in the semifinals, and I think that's he was seeded 7th, I believe, so he must have pulled off an upset at some point to get to that point. So well done for him. That is a wild thing to also be happening this weekend too. It always falls that way. So we'll see how it goes with that. Mizzou baseball underway now at Tennessee. Gotta pick something up here, I think. They've lost 4 in a row. That game to Kansas didn't quite buoy things back after getting swept by Auburn. So got to get back on track there. And then Mizzou softball is kind of on an upswing, 7 wins in a row, trying to climb back to 500 overall. They're hosting Alabama right now. So we'll watch all of that. And, by the way, Mizzou Gymnastics SEC Championships tomorrow. Like, what? This crossover season is insane. More so than the fall one when football blends into basketball. These are like a bunch of championship style events all converging. So that's what makes this time exciting. But
this is March.
Yeah, this is March for gymnastics and for wrestling. That madness also can be very intense. But do we expect any more intense madness as far as upsets for double-digit seeds and not counting Mizzou?
Yeah, Mizzou, I mean, that'll be a minor upset when Mizzou wins that one on a buzzer beater by Trent Pierce.
Whoa!
I know I said they'd win by 4, so I get antsy the closer to the game we get. Okay, so pretty much the afternoon slate went to the chalk. Virginia came back on Wright State. Iowa State huge over Tennessee State. We'll see about them losing a key player early in that game. Bama beat Hofstra by 20. Utah State, the 9/8 happened against Villanova. Miami, Ohio, God bless them. They just couldn't hang. 22 was the margin there. And I had said yesterday, I felt like it would come down to like the final play to see if they could cover. And they were only like an 11.5 or 12.5 point underdog. So no, Tennessee was just superior. Good story, but that's it. So we've kind of like hit a bit of a lull. We had the craziness in St. Louis this morning, but that wasn't really an upset. Northern Iowa over St. John's, Queens over Purdue, Prairie View A&M over Florida, Furman over UConn, or can I talk you in to 13 Cal Baptist over number 4 Kansas?
You can. I've already been talked into it. It's in my bracket. It's in my bracket. I
didn't bracket
now look.
I'm betting it.
I don't have a ton of justification for it. Just running through the number. Now, Cal Baptist isn't terrible. They're 106 in KenPom. They're projected to lose this by about 13, according to his metrics. This could be like, if in fact this is Cal Baptist's game to have, expect something like 60-59 or something like that. I think that's the type of game they want to drag it into. Keep both teams in the half court. Don't speed up too fast. Kansas doesn't want to play too much tempo. They're kind of like just above average, but both teams do very well defensively. Kansas, though, much better offensively. So that's what they have to overcome. But look,
they just have to miss some shots.
Yeah, like if the Jayhawks start to miss a few, then Cal Baptist is a very good rebounding team on both ends. So like they'll probably keep it to one and done most times if Kansas starts out slow offensively. So like you have to keep that game going for as long as possible. That's how I've talked myself into thinking that Cal Baptist can do it. I have it in my bracket, so I'll say that's the one that I'm picking. But I also am not like, Kansas can still light it up pretty well. And Darren Peterson's, I know, like we've talked about, the back and forth of what he's been dealing with and whether it's his fault or Kansas's fault or somebody else's fault. I don't care. The guy can flat out play. So that's the thing that matters at this time of year.
So I want to will that one into being. I'm not super confident that it will happen. I think there's a lane for Northern Iowa to beat St. John's. I think that spread's a little tighter. It's like 9.5. St. John's, kind of that team that we see get tripped up sometimes in March. They play really quickly. They play a fast tempo, but they're not as efficient offensively. 45th on KenPom in offensive efficiency. They're 12th in defensive efficiency. But it's like for a team that plays so quickly, they aren't as, elite as some of their peers up in the top 20 of KenPom at just being efficient on offense. They're not a great, 3-point shooting team. They're not a great 2-point shooting team. Like they're inefficient at times in just field goal percentages. So I think that's going to be an interesting matchup against a Northern Iowa team who, their offensive rating is 156th because they play in the Missouri Valley and they're not going to get a lot of credit for what they do against their opponents. But they are very efficient. 55% on 2-pointers, one of the better 2-point shooting teams in the country. They play a measured pace that will slow you down. They're like the 4th slowest team in the country on tempo, 363rd in adjusted tempo. So imagine if they're able to dictate pace by just not turning the ball over, staying in control, playing in the half court. They are 24th in defensive efficiency, Northern Iowa is. So they're genuinely a really, really good defensive team. St. John's already not very efficient anyway. And if they don't have the tempo to their liking, could that frustrate St. John's if they're not shooting from a very high rate in terms of, I don't care, 2-point, 3-point from the field? If they're not shooting very strong and Northern Iowa can kind of set their pace, that it feels like those sort of tempo mismatches are often where upsets can come from. So I would say Northern Iowa is going to be my call. I feel a little bit more strongly about that one than I do the Cal Baptist possibility.
Well, I think you should. It's a little more likely to happen, I think. I worry about Cal Baptist scoring for sure, getting to their offense. Kansas is one of the best defensive teams in the country. I'm sorry, Queens. I know I'm about to see their fans.
No way. Both of them are here.
An hour or so. Oh, come on. I wouldn't go that far. But
imagine if they're the opponent and I just disrespected them like that. That goes against everything that I stand for in terms of respecting Mizzou's opponents. And I just said that. Can't believe
you just did that, and they're going to be the new.
But they're rated what offensively or defensively? What's their ranking in adjusted defensive efficiency? We found this out yesterday. It's like it's in the 300s, and
it's not great.
319. They play fast. They can score. But they're 319th in defensive efficiency. Purdue is first in offensive efficiency.
Well, right now they're number 2. I think who overtook them? Someone overtook them last night because they played. I can't remember. Oh, it was Illinois. Illinois overtook them by how they played. So Purdue will probably get back to number 1 after they play.
I think it's the over. That's the play in that game. If Queens can score. And Purdue is against just a woeful defense as one of the best offenses in the country. The line's at 159.5, and I don't think that's enough. That's my hot take. Let's see some points in that game that happens before Mizzou. And by the way, keep a running clock on that if you could when those points are being poured in. Just saying.
That would help out so many situations across the country. But as we know, the NCAA won't do that. They won't help out situations in that sense. So, yeah, just hunker down, Mizzou fans. Get coffee ready if you're watching or listening at home. If you're at the game, I don't know, maybe get more caffeinated drinks there too, I suppose, instead of the alcoholic ones.
They do have coffee in the media center, and I had a cup today that had a bracket on it because you got to have the official cup. If you're going to go out to the floor, you got to have the official cup of the NCAA.
Yeah.
There's a sponsored cup, but then there was one that had a little bracket on it. I should have kept it, but I threw it away.
So. Oh, man. Well, either way, 875-KTGR. Give us a call or text. The upset that you're looking for tonight, maybe even tomorrow. Maybe there's some in the round of 32 that we should think about. Hey, maybe. Who's going to take them in the picks of the week? We have a chance to take them coming up next, right? Yeah, Brendan's thinking about
one last week.
All of a sudden, I don't want to talk about it. That'll be coming up next after this live local sports center here on the Big Show, KTGR.
Now, your local sports center update on your total sports station, KTGR.
Good afternoon. I'm Andy Humphrey. This Sports Center update is with Lee's Tire Company. If it's round and rubber, Lee sells it. Go to leestirecompany.com. Again, stay tuned. Later on this evening, coverage will begin at 8:30 on KTGR Radio as Mizzou men's basketball starts its run in the NCAA tournament as the 10 seed in the West region, taking on the 7 seed Miami Hurricanes. Second time these basketball programs have ever met up. First time was in 2002 in the first round of that NCAA tournament. Mizzou won the game, and that sparked a run to the Elite Eight. But this year's Tigers team heading into the game on a 3-game losing streak. Again, coverage at 8:30 and tip-off approximately 9:10 p.m. tonight for Mizzou and Miami. Mizzou women's basketball moved on in the WBIT last night with a 67-57 win against Seton Hall. Grace Slaughter with 22 points. Tigers now move on to the second round of the WBIT at BYU, who was the first team out of the NCAA tournament field on the women's side. They will play on Monday at 8 o'clock. Cam Steed moving on at 174 in the NCAA Wrestling Championships for Mizzou. Aiden Sinclair fell in the quarterfinal round at 184. He'll be in the Wrestlebacks. Now your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast.
I'm tracking hot temperatures again tomorrow with highs in the upper 80s, more like our averages in summertime. We even broke records for our Friday with Columbia reaching the upper 80s. That is possible again tomorrow. By Sunday, we'll start to see a mild cool down with a cold front moving through. We stay dry, dropping to the 70s on Sunday, 50s and 60s on Tuesday, and staying warm the rest of the forecast. I'm meteorologist Nate Splater, and that's your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast on your total sports station, KTGR.
On Simmons Field.
Swinging a ground ball, hit past third and the left. That's a base hit.
And across the SEC.
Fastball, swing and a miss. He struck him out.
The Tigers are ready to roar.
There it goes. Long drive, deep right field. That is gone.
This is your radio home for Mizzou baseball.
The Tigers win this one in a walk-off here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Mid-Missouri's total sports station, KTGR.
From elegant weddings to corporate lunches with flavor and flair, Courtyard by Marriott Columbia brings the party and the pros. It's the home of Main Event Catering. And with every event, you'll get an award-winning chef, full banquet staff, and drop-and-go options for any size crowd. And the event center holds up to 300 guests with 8 flexible rooms. If you need help, there's a Marriott certified wedding coordinator on staff too. Book now by calling 573-443-8000.
My name is Taylor, and I have had insurance with Phyllis Nichols and her team for over 9 years. A auto claim came when my wife was rear-ended. Everyone was safe, but that left a lot of cosmetic damage on her brand new car. We called Phyllis, said, hey, this is what happened, and she's made it a very streamlined process. Phyllis lined out our rental car and made everything just so easy. And having 3 kids and losing a vehicle is a big deal, but Phyllis went to bat for us, got everything lined out, and made it a very easy process.
Do-it-yourself projects are getting a lot more popular, and that's great. Some things you gotta leave to the pros, like welding. Think of it like watching your favorite team and yelling at the guy who biffed the play that you so easily could have made. No, you couldn't. Or you'd be out there doing it. Leave the sports to the pros and the welding to Kretsch's Custom Exteriors. Repair work to custom fabrication. Kretsch's Custom Exteriors. True beauty is on the outside. Kretsch'sCustomExteriors.com.
If you're craving something delicious, find your way to the Pasta Factory, where everything's made from scratch daily. Their fresh sauces, cakes, quiche, dressings, and soups are sure to tantalize your taste buds. And all pasta entrees are cooked, baked, and tossed to order. Don't leave without sampling those homemade desserts lovingly crafted by Jason and Rob. Good. The Pasta Factory. Visit them at 3103 West Broadway Business Park, right in front of Walmart. Celebrating 50 years in business. The Pasta Factory, where fresh meets flavor.
My name is Josh. I am an exterior project specialist with True Sun Exteriors and Interiors. If you are living in an aging home, you may start noticing items around your home that need repair or replacement. For example, your roof, shingles blowing off, roof leak pop up over time. If you're in an aging home and you look at your windows, you may start to see fogging up between the glass so you can't quite get it clean, or sashes that don't quite open just right and don't lock just right. With something like siding, you're going to notice that your paint is fading, and that may be a sign it's getting old. Maybe the vinyl siding on your home is brittle. And finally, if you have a deck, this is a common item of failure. Your stairs start to get a little wobbly and feel unsafe. If you notice any of these things happening to your home, give us a call and we'll let you know whether it be repair or replacement. We're going to take care of you.
The difference between a house and a home is the attention to detail. At True Sun Exteriors and Interiors, we'll turn your vision of a dream home into a reality. For more information or a free estimate, go to TrueSunExteriors.com.
TrueSunExteriors.com.
Michael Agnew here with API Project Fitness. I understand that life is hard, and if you're soft, it will squish you. You must find a way to be hard. Armor yourself up mentally and physically and emotionally. Our goal is to help you find your inner strength and hardness. The difference between strength and weakness is choice. With our group fitness classes and personal training and open gym, the choice is yours. Choose strength. Find us at APIProjectFitness.com or call us at 573-268-6944 to make an appointment.
Your daily fix of local sports lives here. This is The Big Show on KTGR.
Here we go. Picks of the week time once again. College basketball version, NCAA tournament basketball version. Here on The Big Show, KTGR and the KTGR app. Andy Brendan, producer Drake, his first ever picks of the week, also coming up here soon.
Nice.
So he's ready to weigh in. He's been betting all day as well, so he might actually have picks that he's. Drake, how many are you wanting to take that you actually have action on?
I'm backing up everything I say with my money.
Okay.
All right. Well, go right ahead. We'll bring Drake in here. We'll also show the standings from last time, and
why does he get a golf club? Why does Andy get a golf club? It should be known that I won the golf matchup last year.
I mean, that's first time ever. What's the record on that? We unfortunately don't have that on the screen. We have the picks of the week on the screen. Brendan is late. Brendan might clinch the season long this week.
I got 11 more wins than you guys both. That's amazing.
He is 10.5 above the producers right now. We only have 3 weeks left of picks of the week. So again, if like the producers don't gain any ground this week, it's done. Brendan wins the championship. So then it's about the producers and me battling out for last. So that's really the drama that we have left here for picks of the week. And go ahead.
Well, I was just going to ask, did you send me these picks today? Do I have them? Andy?
Man, no, you don't. Let me send them.
Because normally
you know though what the games are.
Okay,
can I defend myself
I don't
a little
need
bit?
it. I'll just look. I might have a different number though on the apps. You know what I'm saying? So I thought
I'll send you the sheet if I can. If it gets there in time, I'll just text it to you.
Well, just text it to me because here's the thing. I won last week. I assume Slew is an eligible pick. I'm going to do what I never do. Maybe it's bad luck that I'm taking myself to go first in the day that I have a chance to clinch. But I am going to go first. I'll let the producers go second. I want to see what Drake's up to. Andy, you're going to go third. I'm going to take Slew right off the jump. What is the official number on the Slew Michigan spread?
It is 12.5 on the sheet.
I got 13.5 last night because I got in early in real life. But I'll take it. Plus 12.5. I want to see Slew pull it off.
Okay. Who's going next? I'm sorry. I was busy texting you the sheet.
It's all good. I want Drake to go second because I want to see what he's made of.
Okay.
I'm going to take Michigan to cover the spread.
Oh, he's challenging me right away. Maybe his last ever invitation onto the Big Show after that move.
Wow.
All right, fine. I mean, it could happen. You know, we saw that with Miami of Ohio. They won a game, and then they got popped by Tennessee, better team. So, all right, fair enough. Fair's fair. All right, Andy, round one. Who you got?
I will. You know what I'll do? Actually, opposite of this. This is in my bracket, and I think Gonzaga is going to dismantle Texas in this game coming up tomorrow. 6.5 is the spread for that. Texas has looked good. It did well to get past BYU the other day, but I think the Magic's going to run out in this game. Gonzaga had a bit of a scare last night against Kennesaw. They'll nip that in the bud and be ready to play against Texas. -6.5 for the Zags.
That's actually an underdog that I think is intriguing. Tremont Mark has been playing his mind, or out of his mind, I should say, recently. Texas +6.5. You're on, man. I'm going to challenge you right away because I think that's going to be a close game. Gonzaga wins it, but Texas might have a lead in this game. And anytime I can take a team that I think could be leading back and forth type of game, and I get 6.5 points, I'll do it. So 6.5 for the Longhorns.
Drake.
All right. I'm going to take the advice of our guest earlier over on the Arkansas High Point game.
I don't think
you can't pick over-unders yet. You got to go.
Overs. Okay.
Sorry.
Well, that messes everything up.
All good. Just sides.
Time for that.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm going to take Iowa to cover the spread.
What's the line there?
1.5.
-1.5 for Iowa.
And that's starting like any minute now, right?
Yeah, that's coming up right now. But he got it. He got it in under the gun. He's good.
Yep.
He's good.
It counts.
I'll go ahead and take Cal Baptist. Don't know if they'll win, but 14's a good number. I think
14 points.
Within that. Yeah.
All right.
Plus
I got a lot of picks that I actually like, which means I'm probably going to keep making money on this tournament since I have been doing so thus far. I'm going to take, I'll just put my money where my mouth is on it. Northern Iowa +10.5 against St. John's. That number has actually improved in my favor compared to where it was yesterday. So I'll go ahead and take it.
Drake.
All right. I'm going to take UCF to cover the spread against UCLA.
Ooh, what's that number? I kind of like
5.5.
UCF +5.5.
Andy, weigh in on that. Is that what? That's the one that I really feel like UCLA is just the better team, but that's a big number for a 7 versus 10 matchup.
Fair. UCF got in as an at-large, right?
Yes. Yep, they're a 10.
Yeah, I don't know. UCLA's playing really well. That's more of a momentum thing than anything else. I'm going to say UCLA covers that. I'm not going to pick it right now.
Yeah,
but, yeah, instead I will go to – I'll take Mizzou before anybody else does.
What's the number? What's on there?
+1.5.
All right.
Why not?
What if they lose by 1 and you win your pick, but you'll feel bad about it? What happens then?
Everybody else will have to deal with that. I'll be at peace with it. Anyway.
All right.
Brandon, go ahead.
Well, I'm happy for you on that. Okay, let's rock and roll with, by the way, Prairie View A&M +35.5. If anybody thinks the Gators stumble tonight. I don't really. I actually do think Florida won't cover that number, but I'm not. There's other picks I like more. I think for as much as I think Illinois is going to beat VCU, 11.5 is tasty. That's a lot of points. I'm inclined to take it, but instead I'm going to, because producer Drake attempted to touch on that High Point Arkansas game, I'm just going to take Arkansas because I think High Point will be one of those teams that just kind of runs out of steam. And Arkansas did not mess around against Hawaii. They might be on a warpath here a little bit for that collision course with Arizona. So give me Arkansas -11.5 in the round of 32 tomorrow.
All right. For me, I'm taking Vanderbilt outright.
Nice. Well, you got to win by 1.5. They're favored.
Yeah, -1.5.
Okay, yeah, -1.5, whatever.
But that's pretty close.
Yeah, as long as they don't win by 1, you're gonna cover that. That's what my bracket says. So good pick, Drake.
I'll take Illinois. I'm sorry. Like VCU, such a good story recently, but Illinois is really good.
They are.
They're going to
They're in my Final Four.
Yeah. Illini -11.5.
You made this easy on me. I'll go ahead and take VCU plus the 11.5.
There you go.
Fade you on that. Do a little head-to-head. It's March after all. We need to have some intrigue, some consternation. VCU, what was that, a 19-point comeback against North Carolina in the second half? Did you see the tweet North Carolina sent and said, at the moment, we're up by 19. Why send that tweet? Why do it? It's like they knew they were going to get dunked on. That was bizarre, but I really enjoyed that comeback yesterday. So yeah, VCU plus 11.5. I just need to keep it close. That's all I'm asking.
I thought this was going to be a lot more entertaining. I mean, I didn't hear any crazy picks yet. I'm taking my last pick as Furman upsetting UConn.
Ooh. Okay, so again, you're going to get the points, but I like that you're calling it outright. You think Furman wins the game?
I think Furman wins the game.
I love that so much. How many points is he getting?
Who's the mascot for? He gets 20.5. Quick, Drake. Who's the mascot for Furman?
Oh. Sorry, I gave it away.
I wasn't listening to you. I don't know.
Okay, you don't know the mascot for Furman?
No. What's Furman?
It's Paladins, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Paladins.
That's a lame mascot. I almost want to reverse that pick, but whatever.
I like
that
pick.
Give me
Already
the
written
Paladins.
down.
I actually really like that pick. 20.5. You're getting. He thinks they're gonna win outright. So find your jurisdiction of legality for that, because that's a gimme. All right, Andy, last pick of the round. Save yourself from a fate.
I might as well just do it just for the sake of time. Purdue, wrap this up. Like, come on, just wrap it up. I'll lay the points with Purdue minus 25.5, Brendan.
Crazy. All right, well, good luck to you. I want to see Queens make a run of this thing. Come on.
I mean, that'd be entertaining. If they have like a entertaining first half and people are sticking around, like, hey, maybe this can happen. Purdue is going to turn on the Jets at some point in the second half.
I'm over 159. That's my official play for that game.
All right. Well, we will continue to wait until late tonight. Mizzou and Miami, approximately a 9:10 tip-off. Coverage begins at 8:30 right here on KTGR, and we will recap it on Monday. Maybe another game until then. We'll see. Thanks for joining us for the madness. He's Brendan. He's producer Drake. I'm Andy. We're done for now.
Okay, we now have Steve from Steve's Pest Control. He'll be addressing your questions on the spring